Thank you guys. Hitting the 10,000 mark in the number of people following my YouTube channel is always a great feeling. But more importantly, what I would like to tell you is the kind of questions that people ask. Please understand that there is somebody called a investor, which is you. There is somebody who's a speculator, could be you in some avatar. There is an advisor. Then there is media, there are bloggers, and there are YouTubers. Please understand, what we are talking about is personal finance. Personal finance is hugely personal and small in finance, right? So to be able to give you correct advice, I have to know you. Okay, two conditions are required. One is I have to know you. Second, I have to be a registered investment advisor. I cannot give advice to somebody just because you have sent me an email and say, is this fund a good fund? I actually do not know whether that fund is a good fund or a bad fund. I have not done any research. That is easy, but I do not know whether it is appropriate for you, because if I have to know whether it is appropriate for you, I have to do a ton of activities for asking from what is your risk profile, why are you investing, whether you should be investing at all or saving more. Right, I have to ask you thousands of questions. Once upon a time I used to have a very thick questionnaire. I don't even know where it is now. I can't find it, right? Nor am I keen to find it. That is not my job. I am not a registered investment advisor. I can broadly tell you that index funds have advantages and index funds have disadvantages. I am not going to choose whether you should invest in an index fund or whether you should not invest in an index fund. Then there are some people who don't understand the sarcasm. Like, I make fun of people saying, oh, you have to put money in a 5-star fund, then why can't you put in 5-star equity? I don't have an answer, right? So you have to use bloggers, you have to use the media, you have to use YouTube and all to keep learning, but don't find specific answers to your questions. Don't come and ask me, should I invest in Nippon, India, Japan fund? Absolutely your call whether you want to invest in Japan. I can only tell you that I have invested. I have invested in DSP Gold Fund. I don't know whether you should have invested. I have invested in say a DSP Healthcare Fund. I have invested in an SBI ETF. I have invested in Nippon, I have invested in DSP, I have invested in Axis, right? I have also lost money in, or at least my money is also stuck in the Franklin Templeton thing. Yes, I have invested, but largely I'm an equities guy. So I have investment in equities, I have investment in index funds, I have investments in active funds, I have in every place. But is that my competence? I cannot be an advisor just because I'm an investor. Many people try doing that. That is stupid, because as an investment advisor, I have a lot more work to do. As an investor, I have to just pick up some share for my portfolio, which could go right, go wrong. But when I become your financial advisor, I need to know your psychological makeup, what you want to get done. I need to know all that. I used to do that once upon a time, but I don't do it anymore, right? So those kind of questions are kind of wrong, because at best what I can do is forward it to somebody else. But there again, it is your call whether you find that person suitable, whether you want an RIA, you want an MFD, how much of investing you know, how much of investing you understand. It is your call. It's not my call to tell you what you should do. I can give you a lot of data points, I can tell you what I did, I can tell you what is behavioral finance, right? I can tell you those things, but beyond that I can't do anything. And you cannot just read my Twitter remarks, my tweets, my blog, watch my video and create your own portfolio. I am not here to do that for you, right? Nor am I here to rate funds and say this is 5-star and that is 4-star. There are people who are doing that. For them it is their profession. They make money by doing that rating. I am not even saying whether you should use rating agencies to invest. In fact, how the rating happens is such a joke that you should not be using it for investing perhaps. maybe the best is already past it, right? So, and it does not, I have seen good funds which would be rated very low, and bad funds permanently rated high. I'm not saying it is an investing tool. In fact, I'm saying it's a tool which you should perhaps not even see. But that's your call, whether you should use a star rating or not use a star rating. Personally, I don't use a star rating. Personally, I don't want to read what an analyst feels about a fund. When I want to look at a fund, I look at what the fund consists of, what are the shares that it has. If it has shares which I can't buy on my own, for example, if I can't invest in Japan on my own, if I can't invest in US on my own, or if I can't invest in Europe on my own, or I have no clue how to invest in mining companies and metals, then I go and look at, is there a fund available for me to do that? Then I look at the cost. Most of these are expensive. These funds, you have to think twice whether they will take the currency fluctuation and the fund manager cost and then still give you decent returns. Those are all calls that you have to take, or if you do not know how to take those calls, you need an advisor. A blogger or a journalist should not be treated as an advisor, because we will move on. I will do a story today and tomorrow move on. So today there will be an article which says how you should do asset allocation, but that journalist has not done asset allocation for himself or for herself. They've just done some random activities. My work is not subject to audit. Naren's work or Prashant Jain's work is subject to audit. You know what they are doing and they are reporting. And there is a regulator who tells in what format that report has to come, what is the date that it has to come. You have no clue what I am doing with my money. It's just what I am telling you. So please make your choices. These are good places to learn. I mean, I can talk about asset allocation, why it should be done, why it should not be done, but that is generic. It is not an invitation saying, please send me an email and I will give you advice. In fact, I can't give you advice. Legally speaking, I am not an RIA. So this was just more to clarify, saying what role a blogger can play in your life is definitely very different from the role that an advisor plays, right? You need a financial planner, you need an MFD, you need a blogger, you need a vlogger, right? You're watching television, all that is fine, but that they are not the people who are taking the role of an advisor, because an advisor knows you in the personal part, right? I may know finance, but I don't know you as a person. After I know you as a person, I may make some suggestions, that's all, but that too is no longer my profession, right? Thank you.